Hi, and welcome to another episode of If I Speak. If you're new around here, don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter as well. We're quite active on there. And just before we get started, if you haven't looked at our videos already, we've got quite a lot of YouTube videos and on Spotify as well. So go have a look at those if you haven't. And yeah, we've got the usual panel lot with us. So what are you saying, guys? Hope you're all good. So let's get into it as usual. So Shivam, you guys had a game against Aston Villa last week. You guys lost 1-0. Give me your thoughts on that game, bro.
Bit of a shocker. I wasn't expecting it. I thought this would be the easiest game of the season because we usually do well against Villa, but didn't happen. El Ghazi just managed to get the goal. Watkins crossed it into the box. He tapped it in. But other than that, it was a pretty boring game. Both teams were absolute crap. Well, both played crap. There wasn't anything strong from Villa other than the goal. Like that was it. That one goal and then early goal. The rest of the game was just hopping it about between the pitch. Second half, I think we were a lot stronger, but it just weren't strong enough. Like we're just losing the ball in silly places, and obviously dirty Villa, diving and whatnot.
Villa.
I think the referee cost us the game. I think we could have had numerous free kicks at some points. They could have been sent off. They could have been playing with 9 men at one point, I think. But it is what it is. They got the win. That's it. We look on to the next game.
Fair enough. Yeah. You guys didn't have a midweek game either, so I guess you guys are well placed, I guess, in the table for where you are. But yeah, thanks for that, Shiv. We'll move on then to Darius then, because I know you're a very happy guy because of last week. Obviously, you just about made it through to the next stage of Europa League against Benfica. Then you had your game against Leicester as well. You beat them 3-1. So yeah, you must be over the moon, bruv. Just to talk to us, bruv. What are you saying?
Yeah, that was mad. I reckon if we went out of the Europa League, our season would have been curtains. There would have been nothing to fight for.
We'd kick off the panel, bruv, if that happened.
Yeah, I know. I'd be as redundant as Shivam, fam. Like there would be nothing. Nothing to talk about. It would just be a mid-table team, fam. But we were lucky. Aubameyang came clutch that game, and Tierney actually, he was the one that really got it going. But yeah, good that we got through that. Ceballos made a bad mistake, but I don't really like to grill into players when they make one bad mistake. Then this weekend, I think we took the momentum from that into the weekend game. I think it was Sunday, wasn't it? Midday. Really entertaining game. The Tielemans goal was a joke. He literally just ran the whole way through unchallenged. I thought we were dead and buried then because away against Leicester's a tough game, but no, great resolve to come back. Willian got 2 assists. I think that's more assists now than I think it's more than.
Don't say it.
I swear it's Pulisic and Ziyech put together in it, and all these, and someone else I saw, some United player as well. But he's on fire. Well, he's not. One game was good.
I was going to say, nah.
It was a lovely little free kick. Luis got a nice little header from a set piece. Pepe was really good. He was good.
Yeah.
On fire on that right-hand side. It's really annoying that we don't see that more, but hopefully that's something for the future. He won a penalty. Lacazette scored, and then he did get his goal that he deserved at the end as well. So 3-1 was chuffed with that. And all of a sudden, our season, hopefully, because we did rest Aubameyang and Saka. So obviously our intentions is Europa League, but it's nice to see that other players in the squad which haven't really stepped up so far this season are actually doing their bit, especially because all this season has been really Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka, our youngsters, doing the most, whereas these experienced players have perhaps been carried by them. So for once, they really took the game by the scruff of the neck and actually got us a really good result. So yeah, I'm happy over here.
I guess it's a bit bittersweet as well because obviously I think Smith-Rowe went down injured, didn't he? I think against Leicester, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other hand as well, you guys drew Olympiacos in the next round as well, which is quite ironic because of last gen stuff. But do you find that you're more confident now going into that game next compared to last year, or?
Yeah, 100%. We did win the away leg as well. We just got unlucky. Aubameyang scores that bikey and then he misses that sitter right at the end. So I think that was just a blip. I think that's the same night Arteta got COVID as well. So he's probably moving mad in the dressing room or something. But yeah, it was that night apparently. So yeah, it's actually been a year. So it's really I think we'll get our revenge this time. And the Europa League actually looks really interesting now. There's a lot of teams, good teams that are in it. So hopefully, well, I think probably Kunal will talk about it later, but United Milan's probably the pick of the bunch. But
Yeah.
now should be good. Looking forward to it. Suddenly we've got a bit of hope to end the season.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Cheers for that. And then, all right, we'll go on to Nandu next. Then I just have to say 2 words. First off, Roy Keane, start off, bro. Nandu, you there?
Just got aired.
Oh, it's frozen. Okay. Anyway, I just got aired. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go on to Kunal.
He hates him that much. That's how much he hates Roy Keane.
This happens every week. Hello?
Heated discussion.
Are you there?
Yo.
Yeah, you're there. Okay. Yeah, he's here. All right. So yeah, like I said, so Tottenham Burnley, all I have to say is 2 words. The first word, Roy Keane. Second word, Gareth Bale. Talk to me, bro.
We'll get on to Roy Keane later, but it was a solid win from us. 2 goals from Gareth Bale and 1 assist from him. He looked back to his peak fitness. At least it looks like it so far.
Yeah.
Burnley gave us a lot of space to play with, so it just made our game easier to go with as the game went on.
Yeah.
2 solid goals from Bale, obviously, and then a beautiful ball from him to Kane, which topped his finish off. Sanchez, he had a monster class performance as well, I can't lie. Because obviously, you know how I feel about defence, innit?
He's finally woken up, innit, from the Etihad.
Yeah, he's finally woken up from his coma, innit? So,
Sick.
yeah, I'd say I want to see him gain his confidence more going into more games into the season and hopefully cement his first team position into the team.
Are you more confident now that you can push on for like a top 4, top 6 finish then?
I wouldn't say a top 4 finish. I'll say a top 6 finish is more likely because I think our main focus is the Europa League, obviously.
Yeah, and fair enough. Like, because obviously we're recording this before the Fulham game and stuff. So, do you think if you make use of that game in hand, you beat Fulham and stuff, would that sway you in any way to think that you might potentially get top 4, or are you still writing that off for this season?
It depends how our form goes into the season, to be honest. I mean, the way we're playing is more positive. Obviously, during our bad run of games, we're playing proper defensive, and obviously we didn't create our chances and stuff like that. But I think Mourinho realized that he's going to have to sacrifice one thing or another to actually score goals for the team. So obviously he's been letting the forwards attack more and to see how the defense copes with it, to be honest.
Yeah, and also you had your Europa League draw as well last week. You're satisfied with that? Happy?
Completely satisfied. Dynamo Zagreb. It should be a comfortable draw for us. Hopefully, going further into the draw.
Yeah, and I want to get your opinion on Roy Keane as well. Obviously, he said quite a few words. For people that don't know, him and Jamie Redknapp had a bit of a heated debate about Tottenham's players, and I think he said something like, "There's only 2 world-class players in their team, which are Kane and Son, and you thought everyone else were basically clowns." What do you have to say about that?
I mean, with the Son and Kane thing, I'd agree that they're the only world-class players in our team. But if you take out Bruno from Manchester United, obviously they're going to be pretty average with the way they play because he's been a top scorer and probably one of the lead players with assists. You take out Salah from Liverpool, where's the goals going to come from? So I don't get what he's saying with this average team thing. I mean, obviously, you take out the best players from any team, they're not going to cope with it as much as they did with the star players. And the fact that he said none of the players will get into the top 6 teams, I think I'd probably disagree with that. I'd say that Sergio Reguilon would go into any side comfortably, maybe. Højbjerg would go into the top 6 teams comfortably as well. So Roy Keane, he's just a waffler, man. He's just there to get the views up for Sky Sports, and that's pretty much it.
No, fair enough. That's actually interesting because you said Roy Keane's a waffler, so that actually links into our discussion that we have later on and stuff. But before we get onto that and stuff, then we'll go into Kunal next. Then, so obviously, both our teams face each other: Chelsea versus Manchester United. A stalemate, 0-0 game. Give me your thoughts on that game, and might as well talk about the Real Sociedad game as well whilst you're at it, bro.
I think the game was very nervy. I wouldn't say that it was very boring or that.
It was nervy, to be honest. Yeah, for me as well.
And both teams didn't go for it. But what I think is that Chelsea and United both respected each other a lot. rather than going for the game outright. They did want to go for the game and they did try to go for the game, but none of them managed to get out on top. I think that the ref cost us the win because it should have been a penalty according to me. And if VAR has given way worse penalties than that, and it was a clear handball, I wouldn't argue the fact that it could be Greenwood pushing up Hudson-Odoi's arm and stuff like that, but then VAR has had worse decisions, and that should have been a penalty. But Chelsea played really well. They had a few decent chances. Giroud had a really good chance. Werner had a really good chance. So these two players, I was really impressed by Rudiger. Rudiger played really well. I was really impressed with Conte.
Nice.
Conte played really well. And I couldn't say the same about the United players. I wasn't impressed by anybody apart from David De Gea. He made a couple of great saves. Apart from that, I wasn't really impressed by anybody. Nobody played the way I expected them to play because Chelsea were attacking us and there was a lot of space in behind, which I believed that we could have exploited, but we didn't.
Yeah, and then obviously you guys had a midweek game against Crystal Palace. That was a snooze fest. I don't know if anyone watched it, but it was 0-0. I think the only highlight was the mist and the frost that was up there. So yeah, give me your thoughts on that game as well. Obviously 3 0-0s in a row now. So
in a row
are
now,
you worried
right?
now?
I'm not worried, but just like other teams have been having injury crisis throughout the season, I think that this is the time that United are having theirs throughout the season because we didn't have a lot of injuries previously, but now for the past 3 weeks we've been having a lot of injuries. First, Pogba went out. We massively miss him because in a game like Crystal Palace, we don't need Matic and Fred to be the center defensive midfielders. We could have done with Fred and Pogba because Pogba would have added an attacking element to the game because his long range passing is above everybody else at United. Nobody else has better long range passing than him. And then we saw that Eric Bailly got injured. He did get
Wait, did he get injured?
Not in this game, but previously in the past 3 or 4 weeks he got injured. So now we are having this injury crisis where players are carrying knocks. Scott McTominay got injured, Cavani got injured, Martial got injured, and now David De Gea is out for a month. Even though he's not injured, but then he won't be a part of the team. It was personal reasons. His girlfriend is pregnant, so he's gone to Spain.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So he's out for a month. That position, the goalkeeper position, is well covered because I believe that Dean Henderson is a world-class goalkeeper. Not a world-class goalkeeper, but a top goalkeeper. And potential to be world-class. So that is covered. But then when you have so many injuries in your team, no players basically get the time to recover properly. And they're just thrown into the team, which I believe has been the case with Cavani. Cavani didn't look like his old self against Crystal Palace. And Bruno seemed exhausted. Rashford seemed exhausted. Rashford and Maguire had a conversation in the middle of the game. I wouldn't repeat what they said, but then I wouldn't repeat what they said. But yeah, we can see that the United players are now getting frustrated with the results because it was 3 0-0s in a row. So that's about it. I mean, a very frustrating game. And now we have City, which I believe is a nailed on loss for United. So just look ahead.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, so like from my point of view then, because obviously we played each other and stuff. So my point of view, I thought in hindsight, it's like, I do agree in the sense it was a penalty, like because obviously we've been robbed by VAR when we play Manchester United anyway. So I can totally understand and stuff. But in that sense, we did have chances, and it's just the same old story with us. We're not converting any chances that create, and we're barely creating chances. Like there's a few moments where I think Mason Mount did a really good run. I'm just like, shoot. I was literally screaming at a laptop, I'm like, just shoot, bro. You never know, it might go in. And then he just cut on to his left foot. I was like, you ruined it. And then Ziyech had a good chance as well. I actually thought he played okay that game. He looked sharper, he looked better, but still like no contributions or anything. So in that sense, it's a bit disappointing as well. I guess it's 2 points dropped, and I think it'll matter more obviously when we play Liverpool. When we play Liverpool as well, because that's for me like a must win as well. And then if we don't win that, I guess we haven't won in 3 games, and that's a bit worrying. in a sense. So you kind of question Tuchel in the sense that, oh, like, what are you doing and stuff. But yeah, the United game, I guess it'll matter at the end of the season, really, or the coming games, because obviously you guys are a bit of a slump right now. If results go away, if we win and other teams drop points, then we can potentially go a point, or we can go ahead of Manchester United, and even Leicester are starting to falter as well. So that plays into everyone else's hands as well as us. So in that sense, yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but I'm not too disappointed in a sense by it. But yeah. And then, Abhinav, we're going to you then next. So you guys had a 2-0 win against Sheffield United. Great to get back to winning ways and stuff for you. Give me your thoughts, man, on the game.
Yeah, we started like with two centre-backs, proper centre-backs for the first time, I think, in a while. So it's not a surprise that we actually won that game for once, because I think now we've got like two centre-backs at the back who are proper centre-backs. We have like a proper balance between like defence, midfield and attack. I think that wasn't the only thing that changed. Like we changed formation. So we we started with like basically in attack, we had 3, and then the 2 midfielders, Thiago, Wijnaldum. And then I think the players that benefited from it the most were Jones and Trent, because Jones is a player, he's not in a 4-3-3. He has to defend a lot more, and he's been giving a lot of defensive responsibilities. And if you make him do all the dirty work or the defensive, like basically you make him do everything that Wijnaldum does, you're not playing to his strengths. Like Jones is like he's a flashy player. He likes to dribble. He likes to take on players. So push him forward. So the fact that we brought him a bit more forward benefited us. I thought like. We were able to control the game as well, because like we had basically a front 4 with Robertson going forward, and Trent. A lot of people say like Trent should become like a midfielder eventually, and like I think Klopp played him as an inverted like fullback, so he pushed him into midfield, and you could see like him and Thiago are our best passers, so they need to be in the middle. They need to be creating. And so we benefited from that, and we got 3 points.
Yeah, no, fair enough then. Yeah, that's I guess that's all the reviews done then. And let's just hand Manchester City the crown right now, because they're just winning every bloody game.